Okay, so you were telling me that you felt like everything was hypermobile and pretty loose everywhere.
Yeah, especially at the canter when I'm galloping to jumps. I notice I'm wiggling a lot through the middle.
Okay.
Especially when I go to take back before the jumps.
Uh-huh.
And just in general, everything just feels a little sloppy. You know, my ankles are moving a lot, arms moving a lot.
Yep.
Hands pretty busy.
Yep. So do you remember any takeaways from when you rode with Mary?
It's been a while, but the concept of like bearing down and plugging in was really important.
Yes.
To me, and
that's one of my most important things.
Yep. And there's a whole lot of other stuff. I feel like there was something about the hip flexors here that was helpful to me.
Okay.
But I've kind of lost track of a lot
Right.
of that.
No,
And so
that's
my
fine.
whole lower leg kind of just feels wobbly, and I'm not sure how to stabilize that either.
Yep. Okay. So we'll get into that a little bit, but tell me, when you bear down, how clear is it right now for you to bear down or bear out?
Doing it right now, I can feel the muscles kind of engaging.
Okay. So can you go ahead and halt? Can I push on your core?
Yes.
So I'm gonna push in more, and I want you to expand and push out.
Okay.
So, good. That's a 10, right, max? Mm-hmm. Okay, go to a 5. 10 again. Good. So you don't need to hold a 10 the whole time, but I
Okay.
want you to just be thinking, let's do it one more time and have you breathe.
Okay, that's a 10.
Okay, and just firm breathe in, breathe out, keeping that firmness, yep, so that you don't let the expansion go. Now 5, and breathe with the 5. Good. Yep. So that's the most important thing for me right now. So go ahead and walk on again, thinking, keep that core engaged to, I don't know if she mentioned it or not, but my rule is that it needs to be stronger than you're holding the rein, and it needs to be stronger than the force of the horse going forward. So think about being on a train or something ready to move, and if you don't have core engagement or you don't engage your thighs, you're going to fall backwards when it goes. So a little bit that idea that you engage yourself and you go forward with him. So what would your bear down number be here?
5.
Okay. And what would your hold on the rein number be? 10 being the max you can hold, 1 being the least.
Probably a 3.
Pretty light, I think so, yeah. And then what would the energy of him going forward being in the walk?
3 or 4.
Okay, yeah. He's marching on pretty well, but he
Okay.
could put more energy into it, I'm sure. I don't worry too much about if he's given his all, right? You know, I want it to be more about what you're doing, and then making sure that you're encouraging him to add his energy by you adding your energy. So let's go ahead and change directions. And in the walk here, if you want him to walk more forward, what would you do?
Kind of bump him off my leg a little bit and
Would you do anything in your body first?
increase my bear down.
Yeah.
Maybe tighten my seat a little bit.
And how would you tighten your seat?
Pushing my hip bones kind of together a little bit and
Kind of, yeah. There's
lifting
of
a
that.
little bit.
Okay. So in the walk, I like to think about walking the sit bones.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a little bit. Did she talk to you about that?
Yes, I'm
Yep.
remembering
So
that
there's
now.
a little in and up, in and
Yes.
up, in and up, in and up.
Yeah.
So you want to walk one, then the other, one, then the other. And it's going to be right one, left one, right one, left one, right one, left one, right one, left one. And then I want you to cut that movement in half, but don't let him slow down. Your leg says keep walking. Your bear down says I'm still here and I'm asking you to engage and hold yourself. And your walk is walking, 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 walking. Yet I don't want you driving your seat like to shove him forward. I just want you engaging and walking energetically with him, but at the same time not throwing a lot more on top of the energy. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Good. How clear is that walking?
It feels clear.
Yeah, good. And bear down number again?
Probably a 4.
Okay. Think a little bit about bringing your shoulders slightly back or advancing your collarbone. Yes. So which one? So either one. So if I'm here, if you look at me for a second, I could bring my shoulders back, or I could be like, advance my collarbone more. Which one do you feel like is more effective for you to be able to keep your shoulders back and the front of your body fairly firm?
I mean, honestly, a little bit of both.
Okay. Yep. So if you keep that, I'd like to think about the front of your body being like a wall.
Okay.
And that if you're going along and imagine there is a wall of water coming at you, like you wouldn't let the front wall get soft or you would just get knocked right off the horse. So you need to keep this firm wall. And I'd imagine it's kind of the same idea when you're galloping towards a jump. You're like, I don't want to get left behind when they leap up.
100%.
So you need to have that firm force there going, I will not get left back. Sorry, shoulders back, elbows heavy. So think a little bit about if you could carry a heavy bucket on each elbow and you're trying to keep the elbows down. And that the weightedness on the elbow keeps the elbow firm but not tight. A little bit heavier. So actually halt for a little bit. If I give you a feel of it, can I pull on your elbow?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I just want to almost be like that, and now like move your hand a little bit, but like it's weighted, yeah. And let's do the same thing on the left one. Yeah. Good. So just even like that amount of firmness there going, I don't give you free, right? But it's just like, I'm not locking you, but being a little bit heavy there. Okay, go forward. Because then when he pulls on the reins or whatever he moves, it's not just a free-for-all. He doesn't hit something that's locked, but you are also the opposite. You were too loose. So I think you need to firm that up, make those elbows a little bit stronger. And when you pull the elbows down, you should engage your pecs, engage your shoulders, engage your upper back, all the way down to your lower back will start to engage. This is better looking. And then you have more of a secure feeling in his mouth and much quieter through your hands. Good job. Yeah, that's okay. Well done. Now what are your thighs doing?
Wiggling?
Wobbling, wobble, wobble. What would you like them to do?
Yeah, be strong and still.
Yes. So I think you need to feel like you're closing your thighs a little more on the saddle. Hug the saddle a little bit more firmly than you were. And you're just going along, walking your seat bones, going, don't let my knees like open and wobble and wobble and wobble. So whatever firmness that needs to be to keep you from wobbling is what you need to keep on the saddle. So whether it feels a lot tighter than normal or just engaging a little bit is all I need. Which one of those do you feel like it would be? A lot or a little bit or?
A lot.
Okay, stay a lot then. And you can bump with that lower leg when you need to, keeping a lot in the thigh. Good job. Now, if you're to, go ahead and halt somewhere up here in the middle and think about your two seat bones. If they had a flashlight pointing down, then where would they point?
Backwards right now. Yep.
So can you point them a little bit more? There. That would be it. It's just tuck it under slightly. There you go. And that's straight down.
Yep.
So you tend to go a little hollow back, and we're trying to go tuck under and keep them straight.
Yes.
And you made the perfect change. And you lost it a little bit. There. So your low back, can I push your low back?
Yep.
This wants to go forward.
Yeah, which I get a lot of lower back pain.
Okay, and this is what's going to cause it. So resist and push back. There you go. And you want to keep that feeling that you resist there, and you tuck your sit bones under a little bit, and then your low back stays more straight, and you need to then engage your core and expand that, because when the core is not engaged enough, we drop our lower backs, and it takes all the pressure on your spine, and then those long back muscles are getting like really strained, and we're trying to go tuck it under and engage the core instead of letting the spine get the problem, you know, because the spine will handle it until it can't.
True.
Okay, go forward. So tuck under a little bit. Think about your pelvis almost like a bowl of water, and if you look at me for a second, if the bowl's like this, your pelvis wants to tip forward and the water would spill out the front of over your belt buckle.
Okay.
And you're going, lift the front of the belt buckle up a little bit, or tuck the back under. Which one's more convenient for you? Thinking front up or back down?
Tuck the front up.
Lift the front up,
Lift
okay.
the front up.
Yep, good. So keep lifting that front up. Yeah, good job. Bear down number here.
5.
Okay, you lost the front a little bit. Tuck it under. Lift it up. Good job. And thighs, firm. There you go. You're like, oh shoot. Just a few things to do at once. It's like tuck it under or lift it up, thighs firm, bear down. And lean back just a tiny bit there. Like your mid back wants to be a little bit hollow as well, so it's trying to get the whole back section of your body think about at your hips, like you would be a little bit closed in at the hips, and we're trying to open at the hips. Just a bit. There you go. Good job. Thighs firm. And we're going to go to trot rising shortly, and I want you to think about, I'm sure she asked you about the weight in your thighs versus your stirrup when you're rising. And I just want you to have that in your mind as you go to trot rising. We'll let this trailer go past.
Okay.
Just driving through the bushes, but he's not too worried. But so focus on yourself here, bearing out, bearing down. A little bit of that pelvis up in the front, thighs firm, and heavy elbows. And I know this is a lot of stuff. It's like almost too much stuff to do all at once, but I want you to try to rotate through a few of these things. And if you're ready, you can go ahead and trot. And I know they're going to turn around and come back, but they're not in the bushes anymore. There you go. So, do you still have bear down?
Nope.
Okay, so let's get some back. So you're going to firm that core up. What would it be now?
Like a 4 or 5.
Okay. Then what's this energy like? Do you feel like you're on top of it? You're creating it? Is he kind of going? You're following it?
Yeah, he's going and following it.
Okay. So that's not how I would want it though. It might be a how you think it's how you would like it, but what I want is that you are creating the energy and you're taking him where you want him to go. He needs to do his work, but I don't want the feeling that he's going and you're kind of going along with him. Like, so I want you to feel like this is my trot. Every step is mine. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So out of 100% of your weight, every time you stand up, how much is in your thigh and how much is in your stirrup to help you stand?
Way more in my stirrup.
Okay, so what's that number?
Probably like 7 in my stirrup, 3 in my thigh.
Okay.
Or 6, 4. Okay.
So maybe we're at a, I think thigh at a 40% and stirrup at a 60%.
Yeah.
Can you go 50-50? How hard is that?
Challenging.
Okay, can you go 60-40? Reverse it to where it wants to be. Yeah, this is a lot better. And challenging, how challenging is this?
Very.
Okay, so we're gonna get ready for a walk transition.
Okay.
They're down, tuck your sit bones under, keep your 60-40, 70-30 if you can in the thigh, and half halt, get ready for your walk. Good, that's fine, walk on. A little bit more energy into that, just a bit. So when you say very, like 10 is the max, like
a 7.
Okay, so you could go on another circle, but it would be like you're starting to lose it.
Yeah.
So I am very much about short sets of strong work. So I would much rather you do one good circle than 5 circles that get sloppier and sloppier and sloppier. So my goal is to get to 80-20, and I don't know if Mary had mentioned that to you at one point. That's the ideal when you're rising, to think 80 in the thigh, 20 in the stirrup. It keeps your foot light and steady, and you're not trying to push on your stirrups to get over. Because what happens when you're rising and you push on the stirrups, so if this is my, let's see if I'm here, I go push, 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 right? And then the lower leg is moving, and we're trying to almost think like I'm standing on the floor, thrusting over my knee, and not letting the lower leg move. Because it's from your knee up that propels you forward.
Okay.
So you might think about that like your knees being screwed into an iron bar.
Okay.
And they don't move from the knee down, but the iron bar is where it rotates from. And like the windshield wiper on the bottom of a car, it's screwed in, and then it just goes wipe, 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 wipe. Whether you go faster or not, this doesn't move.
Okay.
So, and your seat should get to the top of the rise and the bottom of the rise, whether or not you're going fast speed or slow speed.
Okay.
So that's your goal, and it's a lot harder to go, I think, slow speed and keep that strength, because it's almost easy to let the horse throw you up and you kind of keep going. But when you have to really control every beat of it, it's like your thighs are going, this is a lot of work. Another way to think about it is if you have a bungee cord wrapped around your waist and it's tied to the back of the saddle, and you're trying to thrust up and this bungee cord's trying to hold you in the saddle, and you have to go thrust up and over and then not let the bungee cord snap you back down.
Okay.
Because it's trying to hold you down. So let's change directions and let's go trot left.
Okay.
So as you're walking along here, a little bit of bear down, a little bit of collarbone advanced, and you've already fixed your seat bones there, that looks good, and thighs firm. Heavy elbows. Bear down number.
5.
Okay. If one thigh was more attached, which one would it be?
Left.
Okay, can you snug the right one on to match the left one? How much harder is it to get the right one on than the left?
Probably 50% harder.
Okay, so it takes quite a bit more effort to snug
Yeah.
the right one on. Do you find that normally, or is it just, okay?
Yep. That right knee likes to poke out and kind of just be, that leg gets a little extra wobbly.
Okay, so the left thigh, are you right-handed?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Your left leg is going to be stronger probably than the right leg. Just like your left arm is probably stronger than your right arm.
It is.
Yep. Yep. So most people think it's the opposite way, but you're dominant with the left even though you're right with the right. So we take the strength on the other side. So you're going to have to be working. Actually, go ahead and halt. Let's do a, put both reins in one hand. It doesn't matter which one it is. Grab on the other side of the saddle, up this pad, and pull over. Do you feel one thigh snug on more?
Yeah, the left.
Probably left, yep. So now swap hands. Same thing. And feel the right one snug on.
Oh, yeah.
Is it way harder still, or is it like, oh, I can actually feel that pretty easily?
I can feel that pretty easily.
Okay, so maybe just that idea of you did that, you could, oh, now it's snugged on. Now go ahead and go forward again, thinking that's what I need to be considering, that if I pulled over again, that was what I needed to feel. And it's usually not that I want you to soften the inside, the one that's stronger. It's usually that I want you to firm the opposite one up to match it. Occasionally it'll be like, oh, you're using the inside one too much, or the outside one too much, whatever. But the dominant one. So you're going to go to trot rising again, now thinking, keep both thighs the same, both thighs attached to the iron bar, both knees attached to the iron bar, and you thrust over top those knees, getting as close to 70-30, 80-20 as you can without completely burning yourself out. So you just take it a couple notches stronger than what's comfortable or where you'd like to naturally be. Yep, and you can lift him up a little bit if he pulls down. I don't even care if he's not perfectly round. He just can hold himself uphill a little bit more. Yeah, good job. So you have bear down here.
5 now.
Okay. And what about both thighs? What's the weight on your thighs versus stirrups?
A little bit better now. Probably 60%.
60% in the thigh, 40 in the
Yeah.
stirrup? Okay, good. Is the right one also 60?
Yep.
Okay. Can you go 65? Pull the bungee cord more firmly. Up, not faster.
Okay.
Pull it more firmly, yes. Because if you go faster, you're just going to get a faster trot. There we go. I want a more controlled, energetic trot. But you pulled up. That's okay. Doesn't matter. Good job. Good. That's okay.
Sorry, buddy.
No worries. Up and over, up and over, up and over. Good job. Good job. Now you are adding a little bit of a twist to your body here. So you're twisting to the inside. Can you twist to the outside? Point your chest to his outside ear, toes in, up and over those thighs. And now how hard is this when thinking about your thigh pressure there? Getting pretty hard, or?
It's okay.
Okay. So if you're at 60-40, are you still 60-40?
Probably.
Okay, good. Keep working towards that, and then sternum to the outside ear. And I know twisting is another thing that we get into usually a little bit later, but I don't have a lot of time with you, so I want you to be thinking sternum to his outside ear, outside shoulder, back. There you go. And did that change anything with your thighs?
Yes. Made the right one easier to keep on.
Okay, good. So you keep that straightness in your body, which maybe makes you feel like you're twisting to the outside, but then both thighs are more equal. Lift them up. Yep, there you go. Both thighs on. A little half halt and a little bit of inside leg, and you can keep him a little more uphill. Ride a half halt again if he pulls down. Yeah, and then hands kind of low. The goal is not to have to pull him up necessarily, but you can lift him up and limit where he can go down. Good. Twist to the outside. There you go. A little bit more twist outside. Right shoulder back. Sternum to the outside ear. There you go. Do you feel the right thigh again?
Yep.
Good. Still 60-40?
Yeah, maybe 70-30 now.
Okay, super. So I want you to get ready for downward transition with 70-30 or 80-20. Pull the bungee cord strong, stronger, and stronger. And then you do your half halt, bear down. You can go sitting to walk. twist outside. So what's interesting is you're going along, you're looking to the outside, but your body wants to be left. So you got to go a little bit more, point this to the outside, and think about if you're a compass, north is always in front of him. I want you thinking like north outside, northeast, to the right a little bit of him. And then if you're the other way, you were pretty straight the other way. But tracking left, you almost need to be staying in a twist to the outside position the whole time to keep you straight. Good, you can let him have a little loose rein. We'll keep focusing on your low back, on the bear down, the thigh hug, and the heavy elbows. That's really nice looking. What do you feel here?
Feels good.
Okay. Very nice.
It's a challenge keeping this closed in. Like this is probably the hardest part here.
Okay.
Because I want to still
hollow. Push it out, yes. And you might think a little bit about almost an ab crunch. Like if you were to go sternum to your pubic bone up a little bit and just think a little bit of this crunch. Not very much, but just a slight bit of a crunch. Like what you would do when you first start an ab crunch. Just engage those muscles and they shorten a little bit. Yeah. And then you have the front wall really solid. And it looks like if I was to come along and like push in your stomach or punch you in the stomach, you would block it. And that is the goal. That you're firm there and you go, hey, go ahead, push on me and I'm not gonna wobble, fall back. And you're doing a really good job of maintaining that throughout, even though you said it's difficult, but you're keeping it really well. You're able to focus on it well. Let's change directions and we will go sitting trot when you're ready. Now, think about keeping your body straight when you go for your change of direction. Try not to twist anywhere for that, because you slightly twisted right. So keep the outside thigh a little more firm, the outside half halt a little more firm, and then you'll almost, if in doubt, I would rather you twist to the outside a little bit than anything to the inside. Because twisting to the inside usually throws the hips out, and then they tend to jackknife or fall out. And if you can firm the outside up a little bit more, then it's much easier to get them to turn in with a stronger outside wall against their side. There you go. And because you naturally have that slight twist left, you're really firm tracking right. Like it looks like you've got this nice solid, you're pointing to his outside ear already, and it's nice and strong. Now you might have to be careful tracking right that you don't overdo that. You might still need to track or point a little bit to the right ear. Yeah, that's good. Especially if you feel like the right thigh isn't attaching. And if you twist a little bit right, you can get the right thigh on. Good job. When you're ready, we will go to trot sitting. Nope, you went too far forward. Yeah, I want you to be sitting right where you're at and go come up underneath of me. Yep, and still went a little forward into that, but that's okay. So you can lift them up again. There you go, and shorten your reins. You can keep a bit of a firmer rein contact, is totally fine. Yep. Okay, give me a number for how hard the sitting is here. 10 really hard, 1 easy.
6 or 7.
Yep, so not super easy. I want you to be thinking bear down. What's your bear down number?
5.
Okay, good job. Do you have the front wall solid?
It's not as solid as it was in the walk.
Yep, but can you just get it a little bit more solid than what it is? There you go, there you go. And that little bit of water in the bowl, there. And your thighs, what are they doing? Are they attached?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel it all the way up into your underneath, your inner thigh all the way up? Where do you feel the thigh the most on the side?
Right in front of right above my knee.
Okay, so go ahead and halt. So you can lift up into that thigh block there, but what I want is the inner thigh to work a little bit more. So the upper thigh, definitely, this one is working, right? But have a little bit more, I'm gonna pull up here, open up your thigh, rotate it in, and feel like you're trying to keep your bone against the saddle almost. Same thing with this one. It's like you gotta pull the flesh out a little bit and wrap it around and keep your toes in, heels out slightly. So then you feel the inner thigh all the way up should wrap around. It's like you're sitting, your underneath is like this on the saddle, and then it goes down your thighs, right? So you're trying to keep this all fairly firmly attached. So go ahead. And I totally understand, and I want that little bit of lift, upward thigh lifting into the thigh block, as long as you're wrapping in as well.
Okay. Back to the trot?
Yep. Oop, you got a little hollow, so let's do that again.
Yeah.
You just leaned forward into the transition. So I want you to actually feel like you plug more back and down into the transition.
Okay.
And go, you come up underneath of me. I'm not going forward for you to go forward. I want you to come up under me. Good. So you stay that little bit of rocking back and down under your sit bones a little bit. Good job. Collarbone is advanced, and those inner thighs should be working. They're not death gripping, but they are firm. Good. What do you feel?
Hard work.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
feel the thighs working.
Yep. And your lower leg isn't super stable, but just let the pressure go down your ankle. It's totally fine. You just keep the thigh firm. And as you firm your thighs up and keep your bear down strong, you can lift them up and shorten your reins. Yep. You will firm up your lower leg as well.
Okay.
That will come after you firm your thighs up more. Tuck under, twist a little bit to the inside. Hands kind of low and quiet in front of you, keeping that connection nice and stable. There you go. That's more plugged in there. You shifted something there. And if he pulls, again, bump him with the leg, right? A half halt firm, and then a little bit of bump with the inside leg. Yep. There you go. There you go. Good job. That's fine. Good job. And now a downward transition. You need more bear down for this. Breathe down. And so how did that go?
I kind of let everything go a little bit.
A little bit. And then he started pulling you down,
Yes.
right? So you need to think about bearing down even more to go, what was the bear down in the regular trot?
I was trying to keep it at a 5, but
Okay.
it's probably in and out a little bit.
Okay. When you transition, you're probably gonna have to think about 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Maybe even the most you can do for the downward transition. And think about breathing out, like a, and then you can really engage your core for that last final push out, and then walk with some energy in him, and then you can soften your bear down again once you're in the walk, but again, not throw it away, but just soften it to where you can maintain it, because you can't maintain a 10 very long. Anyone at a 10 is like, this is exhausting. This is the max I can do, and we can only usually do that for a very short amount of time. Good. Let's change directions. Any questions so far?
No, this is wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, good. So, how are you walking here?
Trying not to twist, but I was.
Yep. And also bear down, thighs, heavy elbows.
Okay.
For me, it's best to start off thinking what's happening like in your pelvis, like your
Okay.
core and your balance. Because if you're leaning forward and you're not engaging your core enough, nothing else is going to line up very well.
Okay.
So even your arms, you've got to be like, okay, plug my pelvis in, get the core engaged, keep the thighs attached, because the core and the thighs are the only two things that keep your pelvis balanced, the best two things anyways. So once you have the core and the thighs, then you go, now let's adjust everything else. Yeah, which would be the elbows heavy. Good job. Good job. Bear down number here.
Probably a 5
Okay.
or 6.
Yep. And are you walking your sit bones?
I'd forgotten.
That's okay. Yep. So just add a little bit of that in. And if you're unsure of which one walks at a time, you can follow the opposite shoulder with your hips. So I like to think about it as left and right, left and right, left and right. Your left hip goes to the right, and your right hip now goes to the left. Left and right, left and right, left and right. Is that clear? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Super. Now he slowed down a little bit because you're focusing on the walk going with him. So then you might shorten. I would like cut that movement in half, but make it more like walk, 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 walk. Yeah, yeah. And he's like, okay, gotta go. Yep. Just a little bit more of a brisk walk almost, but not so much that I should even really see that you're doing anything. Good, good, good. Okay, sitting trot. No. Oh, you caught yourself. Yeah. You're like, I'll throw it all the way to go forward. So let's do that one more time. It was better, but I think you still kind of let the arms go. And I'd like you to keep the connection and don't give a thing away in your hand to go forward. You don't need to pull anymore, but I don't want you to give.
Okay.
There, you tucked under. Well, that's okay. He might think canter. I'd rather that almost than he's dropping down to something on the forehand. Good job. Good job. So, what are you feeling here?
I'm trying to kind of keep my shoulders to the outside a little bit. I find it harder to bear down on the right side, like through my right obliques.
Okay.
A little weak.
Yeah, so pull the right shoulder down more. There you go. Yeah, it's like the elbow heavier on the right.
Okay. Yeah.
That'll help. It's like you got to crunch your right side. Super. Still a little bit twist right. Crunch the right side. Advance your collarbone a little bit more. Yeah, super. It keeps your shoulders from rounding too far forward. Shoulder blades stay together in the back, but the collarbone has to advance. Twist right, right side crunch. Shorten your reins again. Yep. Shorten them again. You can get, yeah. Then you can keep your elbows. With the shorter hands, don't put your hands more forward. Just keep your elbows where you're at. And then you can supple him here and feel the connection. Even if it's a little stronger, feel it. Yeah, like even here, just stay filled with that. Now we add a little energy to him from behind. Good, keep that right there. Super. Doesn't matter. You can give him a kick if he pulls. Now twist right. Good job. If one sit bone was heavier, which one would it be?
Left.
Okay, can you heavy the right one by snugging the right thigh, being in the right shoulder down, thinking shift a little right. Good, how hard is this? Starting to look a little challenging. Okay, we're gonna do your bear down a lot, 7, 8, 9, and breathe out, and half halt to walk. Close your thighs a little bit more. Good, that was prompt. March on though. Yep. How did that one feel?
Much better.
More like boom, you know. Yeah, much more prompt and through. We just got to keep it. Your face is starting to look a little bit like this is hard.
Very out of shape, clearly. That's what I was just thinking.
That's okay. You're like, and I sign up for 2? Why?
It's okay. I like it.
Good.
You can work me.
Yep. Let's give them a little looser, and you can both take a little breather, and then, yeah. That was good, though. So getting that right side plugged down, and then the right shoulder back and down, the right elbow down, the right thigh closed on. Hopefully, getting the right sit bone more plugged in. Yep.
I had no idea how kind of off all of that had gotten, but I feel it now.
Good. Yeah, it's just easy if you don't have eyes on you to fix it, just to kind of fall into a pattern that you're comfortable with. And now you're going to do some going, oh, what's my thigh doing? What's this one doing? That's the only way you'll make your change is to keep checking in on yourself. So now that you have some tools, go back and the next time you come here, I'll be like, oh, you're twisting too much to the right. You've overdone it, but great. Zulu, shh, go. Yeah, it usually is what happens, but that's what we need to do a little bit. You have to overdo it slightly to really get it.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, ready for a little canter work?
Yep.
So let's go ahead. We'll start to the let's start to the left.
Okay.
And actually, you know what? I'm gonna have you start to the right because I feel like that's easier for you.
Okay.
Just from how your body position is.
Okay.
So in the canter, what do you remember about your
feel
position?
like I remember trying to attach further back.
Okay.
Because I definitely do a little of this in the canter, and kind of some of the stuff that we were working on. You know, the bear down.
Yes.
My thighs get really wiggly in the canter.
Yep.
Hands get kind of detached and too forward.
Okay. So, yeah, before you even go into it, I want you to think about, did she talk to you about fencing lunge position?
No.
Okay, so halt for a second.
Okay.
Imagine, you know what you've seen somebody who's fenced like in the movie or something, that they're like this, you know. You want your outside hip to be back. So if I'm in fencing lunge position, right.
Okay.
It's left hip is back, right is forward, and of course this is too extreme, but you would be cantering along like this.
Okay.
And so this is why I wanted you to go this side first, because you're naturally already here.
Gotcha.
This one is going to be the more tricky one.
Okay.
But you're cantering along, your outside hip's back, your outside leg is back, inside is forward, and you're cantering like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's the fencing lunge position. And let's go ahead and walk on and think about keeping the outside hip back. Inside leg more forward, inside hip a little bit forward. And like you did the last walk to trot transition, I want you to ride the canter like that.
Okay.
So you won't need a ton of canter aid on. You might need a little bit of a wake up, squeeze your inside leg a little forward and slide the outside leg back, and you should go to canter pretty easily. But I don't want you to give anything away.
Okay.
Stay plugged in, bear down, keep your hands there, and go and canter under me.
Okay.
I'm not giving anything for you to canter. That's okay. So you twisted right.
Oh.
That's okay, no worries.
Yep.
So you're going to come back into this, and you're going to twist yourself to the left. And you're going to try to attach that. No worries, not a problem. Yep. Twist left. Plug under more. Tuck under. Sit bones tuck. Low back. And canter. Stay left, stay left. Good job. Left half halt. Good job. And try to push your seat a little bit more back, back. Now if you pulse, exactly, you did that little half halt, and you're going to have to tuck your sit bones under, water in the bowl more, and your left hip back more, and you're trying to make your sit bones go back, 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 attach further. Doesn't matter. So what happened, yeah, you got more back, but you firmed yourself up a little bit more and slowed them down. Keep your inside leg there as your sit bones go back, back, there. That was plugged in for a couple beats. Good job. Inside leg forward, but on a little bit to keep them cantering. Twist outside. And outside sit bone, twist outside more. Sternum to the outside here. There you go. Oop, don't lean forward. Yep. And outside sit bone goes back, back. There. You plugged in. Plug in, plug in, plug in. Back, 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 back. Now twist your hips to the right and go trot. So you're bringing your left hip back forward to trot position. Good, and then you can do your walk transition. Oh, don't pull, just little half halts. Gotta keep your elbows firm though. So from the canter to trot, you're in this cantering position, and then we go trot, and we keep trotting. So you want to be thinking, twist. Not that I want you more this way, but like bring them back to trot position.
Okay.
So you got in the canter, and you were pretty balanced at first, and then you started to like slip forward, and then do this, and then he goes a little faster.
Okay.
And so the moment you then push your seat bone back, the outside sit bone back more, rocking yourself back, he was like, oh, I'm now jumping up underneath of you more instead of getting faster.
Okay.
You made a clear difference. I don't know how much that felt to you, but it was like very, very clear when you had it, and then heading towards the right direction, or when you lost it again.
And so do I want more weight in my outside seat bone, or the same still, but just?
I want you to think about that a little bit more, but they should be fairly balanced.
Okay.
But what we're ending up trying to do is make him sit on his outside hind leg more.
Okay.
So there is a little bit of you going shift back on the outside for the first beat.
Okay.
And then 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Where most horses, most people, well, a lot of dressage riders will go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and kind of drive in the saddle, and they're going on the forehand. And we're trying to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's the same motion, but not driving forwards. And you might end up just sitting up out of the saddle a little bit and lean a little bit forward and go a 2-point or something, which is totally fine, but you still have to keep the same balance in your body, and the thighs very firm. Or you get up in 2-point and you're all the pressure in your stirrups there and your thighs are wobbly, and then you're like, ah!
I know all about
Hold
that.
on! Yeah. Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead and canter ride again. So you're going to, before you do, plug yourself in, and you're going to, as you put your leg back, shift the left hip back, inside forward, and then canter when you're ready. No worries, you almost have the wrong lead, but now you're just going to plug left, sit bone goes back, back, back. Think about the first beat of the canter. We have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I want 1, 1, 1, 1, sit back, tuck back, back, no worries. Yep, and you got to sit back a little bit more, your whole body, thighs firm, tuck your butt under a little bit, there, tuck, 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 there, 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 feel the difference?
Yeah.
Good job, tuck, 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 left shoulder back, tuck, tuck, tuck. 1, 1, 1. Now get ready for your trot transition by just bringing your outside hip forward. Closing your thighs and going, pop, don't lean forward though. Yes, and use your voice, yep, rise, it's fine. Good, up and over, strong thighs, working 70-30 if you can. Good job. And downward transition to the walk. Strong, balanced, low back, lots of bear down. That was pretty good. Good, loose rein, change directions. How did that feel?
A little bit better. I had a few moments where I could feel
Some
it.
moments in there that were more like plugged in. So when I said 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, was that pretty clear the beat of the canter? Good. Because we don't want to ride the half halts really on the first beat of the third beat of the canter. We want to ride them and plug them down on the first beat of the canter.
Okay.
When they're already on the hind legs and they're up in the air. And it's like we're rocking back and then you can go forward.
Gotcha.
So if you think about the beats of the canter, if we have a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it's a very on the forehand canter. A 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, a very rocked on the hind end canter.
Okay.
And that's what we want. What is that pony panicking out there for? Cracker Jack. He's like, the garbage man's here to take me away. Oh, stinker. It's good. He can self-lunge before the kids have to ride him. He's our kid's pony.
So cute.
Yeah, he's adorable, but he also has a cute attitude sometimes.
Like all good ponies, right?
Yeah. He's like, can I squeal and stop and throw my head down and see if he'll fall over my neck? Okay, so we're going to canter left now.
Okay.
And now it's going to be keeping the right side back and that shift back on the outside. Yeah, you can lift them up a little bit. Good job. Lift them up, and then you're going to go tuck, sit back, tuck under, tuck, 1, 1, 1, out. So tip and goes back, back, back. Yep. Back, back. There's the collected canter, right? Now you keep tucking, tucking, tucking. Right sit bone back, back. Twist right, sternum right. Good job. Good job. Good. Lift up. Inside lower leg a little forward. You can lift his belly up under him if he starts to pull down on you. Hands a little bit low, but you keep thinking, tuck under, 1, 1, low back, sit back. There, 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 that's better. Tuck, 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 and close your thighs, outside hip forward, and whoop, trot. You can go right to rising, it's fine. Good, good. Twist outside. There you go. Feel the right thigh. Twist outside again, more extreme. There, that's straight. Even look at your hands for a second and go, is one in front of the other one? The right one was in front of the left one. Good. Not that I want you looking at your hands too much, but it helps to see that every once in a while. And downward transition to the walk. Go down, plug in, tuck under. Leg, 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 leg. Yeah. That's a little bit tricky when you're getting a little bit tired to keep the energy up for the downward and march forward into the walk. Because we really don't want the walk to be, it needs to stay forward. The trot to walk needs to stay just as forward as, or the walk needs to stay just as forward as the trot was, but at least in his body. Think about you can go loose rein for a second. Think about a saw blade revving up, like on a table. It doesn't go anywhere, it just spins faster. Okay. So I want that kind of energy inside of him. Like you turn up saw blade energy and you go zzz, but he doesn't actually go any faster. He just is like, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, ready. Think about at the extreme of saw blade energy. I don't really know what it would be for jumpers, but it would be like piaffe and dressage.
Yep. Yep.
And
gotcha.
you know, either piaffe or extended trot. Yep. It could be either because we're going so much energy, but then we take the brake off and go extend, or bring the brake on a little bit and go burn and have it piaffe. Okay. Or collected canter. Your pirouettes, something that are really, really, really lots of effort, lots of power, but not so much forward. In miles per hour forward. Very forward thinking, but yeah. So you want to be thinking in your trot to walk transitions, keep the saw blade revved up. Okay. Or else you kind of go trot, trot, splat, walk, you know. Which I know a lot of, it doesn't necessarily matter as much in the jumpers if you're, cruise around and blop. But in the dressage test, it's like, it clearly matters when you're being scored on every movement. Yeah. And I would assume the hunters they might score do they score the walk?
I think it's, the moment you come in, so.
Yeah, so they watch every little thing you do, yeah. I just don't know enough about a lot of it. I just get a lot of
I don't know, my background isn't hunters either,
okay.
so I don't know a lot about
And
it
you don't have to worry about that either, yep. Just can get on a canter, and as long as you get over the jump, you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
You may do it backwards, but it's fine. Okay, let's do one more canter left, and then we'll go ahead and finish with him. So I want you really thinking about first beat. And then I actually want you to go on the canter, and I want you to call out 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just to not put a lot of pressure on you. Low back. So it doesn't matter if it's perfect. I just want you to be thinking about the beat for the canter for a little bit.
Okay.
Good.
1, 2, 3.
Nope. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good. Tuck under. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Well done. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we're trying to go focus on 1, 1 as you sit. Tuck under, 1, 1, 1. He's collecting here. 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Tuck under, low back. Well done, well done. Thighs are firm, outside thigh, outside shoulder down. And 1, 1, 1. Outside sit and goes further back, back, back. There, feel the difference?
Yeah.
Well done, he immediately changed under you. Back, back, twist outside, more. It's okay, inside leg more forward, twist outside more. Sternum, really twist outside. Extreme. There, there, there. That's straighter, and then you lose it. It's okay, no worries, no worries. Extreme. Oh, that's okay, your inside leg is bumping him, and he's thinking to do flying changes. No worries. So, when you twist outside, you have to be careful your inside leg doesn't squeeze more. There you go, you have to kick your inside leg more forward. There, there. Outside sit-bum goes. Sit, sit, sit. 1, 1, 1, and now get ready for trot. Go back to what's a little bit comfortable. Twist right, good, and forward. Now you got to keep this slight twist outside. Sorry, I meant to say twist left there, but you did it. It was what was easy. Good. And sitting, saw blade energy, hot, 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 and walk. Rev it up. Better, better. Keep it. Yeah, and then he's like, I'm tired. But that's fine. He just didn't splat and drop down. So good. You can go loose rein, and we'll finish with that. Very good.